Hey, it's Julie. I'm a lawyer and a former top law student and lecturer in communication studies, and today we're going to talk about the rule of law. To put the rule of law really simply, it's basically a set of principles and rules that dictate how laws or the legal system in a country should be created. So what that means is we have legal systems that dictate all of us. We can't commit crimes, we can't break contracts with people. There are so many rules on us, and the rule of law is about how should these rules be created so that they're fair. To put it in a different context, if you're in a primary school setting and you're playing a game with your friends, who's creating the rules of the game and how are they creating those rules? So are they creating rules that are fair? Are they creating rules that apply to everyone in the whole game? Or are they just applying rules that's like, if you're one of the popular kids, you have to only get 5 points, but if you're one of those kids, you have to get 10 points. So these principles, whether the game is fair for everyone, whether the rules are created in that type of way, that would be about the rule of law. So the rule of law is basically how laws should be made and in what kind of way they should be made. So it's literally the rules surrounding the way law should be created. I'll now go over a few rule of law principles, and these principles all come from Tom Bingham's book, The Rule of Law. So Tom Bingham is a famous law lord or judge in the UK. A major principle in the rule of law is that the law should be accessible to everyone. So what that means is the law should be obvious to people so that they know what is governing them and what's dictating them, and they know when they're about to break a law. So basically, if you commit a crime, such as murder, you should be able to know in advance that that is a crime in your legal system and that you will have punishment if you commit that crime. Also, in a non-criminal context, in a civil context, you should be able to know the laws so that you can be a good citizen. So maybe you want to not breach your contracts with people, and maybe you want to put your rubbish out on time and do everything correctly. The laws should be available to you so that you can do all that. And also for large businesses, the laws should be clear so that the businesses feel protected, so that they can go into large major transactions with millions of dollars and still feel certain that things are going to be fair. We know the law in advance. If you breach this, we're going to get this compensation. So everything should be as accessible as possible. So legal systems would aim to be accessible, but of course there are issues with this. For example, the law can be very, very, very complicated. I think before I started studying law, I didn't actually know that law genuinely came from cases in New Zealand. So how are you meant to know the law if you don't even know that it comes from cases? And then if you do know it comes from cases, you might not have access to the databases to get those cases. So that's really not accessible. Another principle of the rule of law is law, not discretion. So the law should be the same for everyone. It should be written, it should be clear, and a judge shouldn't be applying their discretion on how they feel in that situation. It should just be they're following the law, and that's how it is. Another principle is equality before the law. So what that means is everyone should be treated equally before the law. So if you have brown hair, you shouldn't be given preferential treatment to people who have blonde hair or red hair. Everyone should be treated equally. They should be held accountable in the same way, and yeah, everyone should be equal before the court. This video is sponsored by my brand new course, which is for people who are just about to start studying law, who want to get ahead before they've even started. So my course will give you an overview of the New Zealand legal system, of all the different topics that you're going to study in law school. It'll teach you how to read cases, how to take notes. It'll just get you massively ahead before you've even started. So if you're interested in signing up to my course, please check out my description below. I've got a link to my website where you can sign up there. Another principle is the exercise of public power. So this means that if you're in a position of power in the society, so you're in a governmental position, you're a state actor, you're a politician, you should be acting in good faith towards the community and in line with the power you have. So you shouldn't be going outside of your power to do something illegal. A slightly more controversial principle, but one is that the law should protect your fundamental human rights. So this principle would have said that the laws in Nazi Germany, for example, which were very discriminatory towards Jewish people, they would have said that those laws don't uphold human rights and therefore they wouldn't be in line with the principles of the rule of law. And also, of course, they're not fair to everyone and equally applied. So they would be breaking quite a few rule of law principles, and hence we can see in hindsight that they were very bad laws. So good laws follow the rule of law. Another principle is that there should be good ways to resolve disputes in a legal system. So obviously people break laws all the time, or people get into disputes, and there needs to be a cost-effective and simple way to resolve these disputes. So New Zealand does this pretty well in some ways. Like if you have an employment problem, you don't have to go to court. Well, you can't go to court straight away. You have to go through a few different processes, which are actually a lot cheaper for you. So there's a few different ways you can resolve disputes in New Zealand in different contexts, which are cheap. And of course, if you have to go to court, you might have to spend a bit of money, but we still do have that where you can pay to go to court. Another principle is a fair trial. So everyone should be given a fair trial before the law. We know this one well from movies, that, you know, everyone should be innocent until proven guilty. There should be no tampering with evidence, and the witnesses shouldn't be telling lies. So everyone deserves to have a fair trial before their rights are taken away from them. That is the rule of law in a nutshell. It is literally the rules about how laws are created. And in countries where there are good legal systems, they will follow the rule of law as much as they can. So the law will be fair, accessible, equally applied, etc. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.